Now, so this is technically a separate meeting. So welcome to the special municipal council meeting for the city of Westmount for Monday, December 18th, 2023. Bienvenue aux séances extraordinaires pour la ville de Westmount pour lundi, le 18 décembre 2023. This is the meeting for our operating budget. So welcome to everybody who has joined us in the room and to those who are joined us online. I will begin with the adoption of the agenda, which will be moved by Councillor Kez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the agenda of the special council sitting of December 18, 2023 be adopted.
Thank you very much. A seconder will be Councillor Aronson. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Item number 3, we will move, we'll give some details on the overall operating budget for Westmount for the year 2024. And I'll begin with just some commentary. So welcome council members, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, those who are joining us online. C'est un plaisir pour moi de vous présenter le budget de fonctionnement 2024 de notre ville. Il y a des questions qui, depuis le premier jour, guident et orientent mon engagement dans la vie municipale. Les Westmountais et les Westmontaises ont-ils pour leur argent? Les résidents de notre communauté perçoivent-ils concrètement les fruits de leur contribution au budget de la ville? Est-ce que les décisions que nous prenons, les investissements que nous faisons, pourront maintenir et améliorer la qualité de vie de notre communauté aujourd'hui et dans les années à venir? Quels sont les défis auxquels nous devons faire face? Sommes-nous à la hauteur des responsabilités qui sont les nôtres envers notre communauté? Toutes ces questions se présentent avec encore plus d'acuité lorsqu'il s'agit de préparer le budget de notre ville. Tous les membres du Conseil sont conscients de l'importance du budget et du fait qu'il s'agit de l'acte politique le plus important que nous prenons au cours de l'année. The 2024 budget reflects our commitment to respond efficiently, coherently, and responsibly to the needs and aspirations of our community. In accordance with the Cities and Towns Act, we present a balanced budget of $134.89 million. The majority of our budget is funded by the taxes paid by the residents of our city. Therefore, we must ensure that they receive the best services while maintaining sound fiscal and financial management. We must do everything in our power to alleviate the tax burden on our residents, especially in this time of inflation affecting our city, our province, and the entire country. Despite these challenges, we have managed to limit the increase in municipal taxes for an average single-family residence in Westmount to 4.55%. 3.1% of that increase is due to our agglomeration payments. This tax increase is slightly under the annual inflation rate on the island of Montreal as of October 31st, 2023. To address housing shortages and assist those living in buildings with more than 6 units, we have ensured that the tax rates for these buildings is not higher than that for the single-family residences or residential buildings within fewer than 6 units. We are also firmly committed to maintaining and enhancing the services provided to our residents, who deserve a thriving, safe city with high-quality facilities. In many aspects, 2024 will be a significant year for Westmount. We will celebrate the city's 150th anniversary and the 125th anniversary of the Public Library. It will be a great opportunity for the entire community to celebrate our history and envision our future. In 2024, we will also need to address numerous challenges, including funding investments in our infrastructure. Major projects to maintain and renovate our roads, water supply network, and municipal buildings in the future will require alternative funding sources other than pay-as-you-go. In addition to modern and well-maintained infrastructure, we must make changes to address climate change and its impact on our community. For this reason, we continue to plan and implement initiatives to combat climate change and protect the environment. For example, we must now renew our waste collection contracts. We have introduced changes that will protect us from substantial cost increases for the city and encourage us all to recycle and compost much more efficiently. The Environment Division of Public Works Department will continue implementing green programs and initiatives to raise awareness, encourage us all to adopt eco-responsible habits. We will also continue to replace city vehicles with hybrid or electric vehicles. A new Environmental and Sustainable Development Advisory Committee will be established in 2024. Notre ville est un endroit unique et merveilleux où il fait bon vivre et nous devons nous assurer que nous le gérons de manière efficace et responsable, afin de préserver notre qualité de vie et de transmettre aux générations futures. Cela implique de prendre des décisions et de faire certains choix qui, à long terme, bénéficieront à l'ensemble de la communauté. C'est notre engagement. Merci beaucoup, and thank you to all who are here tonight. And I'm going to hand it over to Councillor Shammy, who is the chairman of our Finance and Admin Committee, who will give you more details on the operating budget for 2024.
Thank you, Madame Mayor. Madame la mairesse, chers membres de Conseil, Mesdames et Messieurs, comme la mairesse a indiqué, le commissaire aux finances ne peut être parmi nous ce soir, puisqu'il assiste au final international de débat de sa fille en Europe. J'ai l'honneur de présenter le budget de fonctionnement de Westmount pour 2024. L'élaboration d'un budget municipal est une entreprise délicate, car elle requiert la conciliation des attentes et des aspirations des contribuables avec la réalité financière de la municipalité, le contexte socio-économique et les paramètres législatifs en vigueur de la province. The city's budget, as the mayor mentioned, is largely financed by our property taxes. Much like last year, and particularly in the current economic climate, our objective is to produce a budget that allows for an increase in property taxes that does not exceed the inflation rate. And as everyone is aware, this year's budget has been prepared in a challenging period of inflation, which has significant implications on both our operating and capital expenditures, as the mayor mentioned. We also have to absorb a 3.1% increase in payments to the Agglomeration Council. Therefore, in 2024, the municipal tax increase for the average single-family residence will be 4.55%. Please note that the mentioned tax rate is indicative for an average single-family residence. The total increase in your municipal tax bill will ultimately depend on the individual assessment of your property. And thank you for your payment of the property tax bill. By doing so, you're contributing, of course, to the economic, social, and cultural development of the city of Westmount. Historically, the tax rate for residential buildings with 6 units or more was higher than that of single-family residences and buildings with fewer than 6 units. For 2024, we have decided not to increase the tax rate for residential buildings with 6 units or more compared to other categories of residential properties. Consequently, all categories of residential properties will have the same municipal tax rate, i.e., for example, 0.6347 per $100 of assessment. We hope that this limitation in the tax burden on owners of multi-unit buildings will translate into a limitation of rent increases for tenants and encourage real estate investment in the 6 units or more building category. Our revenues, Madam Mayor and Council, in 2024 amount to $134.89 million, representing a 4.1% increase from the previous year. You'll notice in our revenues a significant drop, minus 21.3% in government transfers. Indeed, 2023, the provincial government subsidies we were receiving during the past 10 years for the loan the city contracted to build the WRC were fully received. However, we've increased revenues from other sources. For instance, the public's enthusiasm for the activities and programs offered by the Sports and Recreation Department has resulted in a 10.6% increase in their revenues. We also continue to increase revenues from parking meters, permits, and other administrative services, and we continue our search for new sources of revenue in addition to property tax. In line with the Cities and Towns Act, our budget is balanced. Thus our expenditures for 2024, excluding Hydro Westmount, also amounts to $134.89 million. You'll notice a significant increase in the debt service amounting on our expenses. In 2023, we decided to refinance the outstanding balance of our debt, which was $9.3 million. The first principal payment of the new loan used to refinance our debt is due in 2024, in addition to the annual interest. Hence, the debt service amount in this 2024 budget is $1.2 million. The principal portion of this amount will be covered by the allocation of our surplus. Hydro Westmount also bears a portion of the first principal and interest payment on this debt. Therefore, you'll notice that Hydro's debt service in 2024 will be higher than in previous years. In 2024, our city, as the mayor mentioned, will celebrate its 150th anniversary, and the public library will mark its 125th anniversary. To organize and host a series of activities and events that will appropriately celebrate significant milestones in our community's history, the budget for the public library and community events have been increased by 31% for 2024. The accumulated surpluses of the city will also cover these special expenses for these legacy events. Expenses for our urban planning department will decrease significantly, minus 45.5% compared to last year. I want to reassure you that we have not made drastic cuts in operations in this department. It's simply a reorganization over time of certain large-scale projects that have allowed us to reduce the expenses in this department. The city's payroll has increased by 8% compared to 2023. This is largely to a readjustment of salary increase rates from previous years following the signing of the blue and white collar collective agreements in 2023. We are immensely grateful to the men and women who work daily to provide our community with the services we enjoy, and we want to see them thrive in their work here in the city of Westmount. However, Council will continue to maintain and limit payroll growth to the levels that align with our financial capabilities. The Capital Works budget will continue to be funded from the city's funds under the pay-as-you-go system. Thus, $12.7 million from the city's surplus will be dedicated to the pay-as-you-go. However, we anticipate that additional funding sources will be necessary to finance significant and urgent investments in our infrastructure in the months and years to come. On the environmental front, the administration has begun a process to enable it to introduce green accounting. The city is also reevaluating how our core services are provided to residents to make them more eco-responsible and, of course, encourage sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, this 2024 budget illustrates our vision for the city. We want Westmount to remain a remarkable city, characterized by its commitments to the community and one that elicits pride from all its residents. Finally, on behalf of the Commissioner of Finance, who has worked very hard with the departments, and he wishes to thank all the departments involved in preparing this budget, thank you, Madam Mayor and Council, and ladies and gentlemen, for this year's 2024 operating budget.
Thank you, Councillor Shammy, and I would just echo those remarks that I would like to thank, in particular, the finance team that is with us tonight, that has worked very diligently on this budget throughout the year, with some very specific guidelines. And so we are pleased to table that budget tonight and as well to vote on it. Does anyone else want to add anything to the operating budget, to the process, to the projects? No? Okay. Well, we will move then. We will move into the adoption of the budget. So I will hand it back over to Councillor Shammy, who will move item number 4 on the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Whereas in accordance with the first paragraph of Section 474 of the Cities and Towns Act, Chapter C19 in the CQLR, between November 15th and December 31st, Council shall prepare and adopt the budget of the municipality for the next fiscal year and provide therein for revenues at least equal to the expenditures provided for therein. I move, Madam Mayor, that the municipal budget for the fiscal year 2024, providing for balanced revenues and expenditures of $134,893,700 be adopted, and that the appropriations of $15,346,300 from the accumulated surplus and provided for in said 2024 budget attached hereto be adopted.
Thank you very much, Councillor Shammy. A seconder on this will be Councillor Peart. Any further comments? No? Anyone? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried unanimously. So we will now move to question period, to the question period that pertains to the operating budget, and then we will begin, once those questions are done, we will begin the regular council meeting that is scheduled to begin in 1 minute. Are there any questions on the operating budget? It is online, so you can take a look at it, and you're welcome to come back, write to us with any questions, or come back in January to the next council meeting. Are there any questions? Nothing online?
No question pertaining to the budget.
All right. With that, then this meeting is adjourned, and we will begin the regular December council meeting in just a moment. Thank you, everyone.